Welcome back for another video. I'm Ehawad, a free-to-play endgame player in Raid Shadow Legends. Today is day 5 of the Helicath fusion. We are progressing well on the champion training. That's where all my energy so far today has gone. We're now at 8,172 points. We've got, 3,500-ish points left, 3,580 to be precise. But anyway, not too many more points to go, and still, two days, 17 hours. We haven't even made a 6-star yet, and my intention is to at least make one in this tournament. As you can see, we have now 9 5-star pseudo chickens ready to go, so we're plenty of food to use. So I definitely will make one 6-star. I just haven't actually decided who yet, to be honest. If we look at the candidates, I could do Sakir. Genbo is definitely an option. Alicia is an option. Burungiri, Sepulchre Sentinel, Shatterbones, Hotatsu, Akoth, Gorlos. Just thinking really of champions who could either help speed up faction wars or speed up the Doom Tower secret room. And then on the rare side, Second Soul Bond is an option, Executioner, Raider. Second Sinasha is another option as well. So yeah, there's a few options. I just need to decide which one I'm actually going to do. So before we go any further, I was asked in the comments to share my Frozen Banshee build, the one that I've been using predominantly in Dragon. Here are the stats, so quite high effective HP with most of the skew towards higher HP rather than higher defense. Pretty fast and high accuracy. This is way overkill. You don't need 339 accuracy at all for dungeon stages. Up to 25, you can get away with 225 is plenty. And I don't use Frozen Banshee and Doom Tower, so this accuracy is complete overkill. I wonder if she's ended up in an accuracy banner for some reason. She used to be in a defense banner. Probably stolen it for something. God knows. Obviously, skills are done. And Masteries, she's still got my clan boss style Masteries. And so because she's still in War Master, and I'm very stingy and I don't want to use my reset. Do I even have the reset? I do have the reset. I don't want to use my reset at the moment in case... I don't know what I'm saving it for, to be honest. I probably should reset her, put her in regen, and then I could use her in Ice Golem. One thing I would highly recommend if you are going to use her in either Ice Golem or Dragon as a kind of solo boss killer is pick up Spirit Haste. Spirit Haste and Master Hex are incredibly important, I'd say, for Frozen Banshee. But yeah, otherwise, at the moment, she's still in a Lifesteal set, Lifesteal plus accuracy. And it gets the job done. So I haven't really worried about changing it. And one correction I wanted to make in yesterday's video is there was a typo on the champion training table. A 1-star champion will take 1 brew and 3 commons, not 1 common, to get to level 10. So the 2 main focuses for today, as I mentioned, have been champion training, but we also have the artifact event to get into. I do need to progress further in that. But before that, we need to win 3 artifacts again as a daily quest. And I have left this until later in the day because I wanted to wait until Ice Golem had started. So we can now jump into Ice Golem. So I've never really bothered properly optimizing my Ice Golem team because I really hate the dungeon. This has been the team I've typically been farming on stage 24, and predominantly because it's extremely safe. I do have a fastest time of 1 minute 2 seconds, but that's not with this team. That fastest time was with a double reset Seer Bomb team with then Venomage doing the boss kill duties, but it wasn't 100%, so I abandoned it and went back to this slower composition that on stage 24 is 100%. Stage 25, however, this is not 100% because Duchess is negative affinity. She can actually die. I will quickly show you guys this run with this team as it is. And then we'll try and see if we can get some kind of Dark Kale team going. I haven't actually finished his Masteries, so it might not be 100% consistent until his Masteries are done. But, you know, we can give it a go. We need to do 3 battles today anyway, so we might as well use that opportunity to tinker a little bit. The general premise on this team is that Asuga will apply decreased attack on the boss, and between Kaimar, A1 Poison, Seer, Karma Burn, that's where all the damage is going to come. The idea generally being that people will die other than Duchess, and Duchess will revive everyone. It's not pretty, but it gets the job done. And I just hate Ice Golem. It's just such a rubbish dungeon with terrible gear sets. There's little wonder it's my least optimised dungeon of all of them. Much like Dragon, the longer term intention on my account is to get Rich off the Bold mastered and booked and get him to basically farm Ice Golem and Dragon. However, recently I've been turning all of my attention, all of my resources and focus has been on building and developing Hydra teams and Hydra champions. So there we go. You can see this run was 2 minutes 25. I think it's usually between 2 and 3 minutes, so that's a fairly typical run. But we would like it to be quicker, to be honest. It's always nice to have faster runs. So this is what I think will be the team that I want to try and see if we can get it to work. We could use Ghostborn in Lydia's spot as well, but let's try this way. So we'll set up the AI override. We're actually going to get Kaimar to reset against the boss. I think that's what I would like. Renegade reset in the second wave. Seer, we want to prioritize the Karma Burn at all times. She has a tendency sometimes, if she doesn't think there's enough buffs out there, to mess around. Lydia's AI usually is fine, but we'll just make sure she's using Siren's Wail whenever it's available. And then with Kale, I would say open with an A1 in both round 1 and 2, and then I would like him to open with an A3. In fact, if we reset, yeah, I want him to A3, then A2, extend them. Yeah, that looks good. I mean, he'll get a full reset, so it actually doesn't really matter what skills he does here. But I think his A1 has shorter animations. So we'll try this, and we'll just see how it goes. We've got 2 more runs to do. We might as well, like I said, use that opportunity to see if we can, well, just to see really, can Dark Kale in this build do it, or do we need to be finessing? I've realised one thing, I should have set it such that Seer only Karma Burns once against the boss. So use it first and then turn it off. That way, she definitely won't get back to doing a second Karma Burn before the boss has killed her, which could be a problem. So let's just take control quickly. We'll do it as if we had set that. So we'll just A1. We'll pretend that we had actually configured it correctly. Do that again. That would then say we'd probably, whatever, do that. again, we'll pretend that Seer has had that AI override. At least Seer's dead, we can put it back on auto. Now we've got to take it back off auto because I haven't set that AI override. So that's a good reason actually to use Ghostborn instead of Lydia. Because I actually just want everyone else other than Dark Kael to die. So this is kind of how I tend to do these things, is to kind of see what it looks like and then make adjustments. So I feel like we, just with a few minor tweaks, like we said, having Kaimar reset in wave 3 makes perfect sense. I like that because that enables us to do this, use that as an opener, and then do not use on Seer. Now the only big question is, can we actually kill with Ghostborn instead of Lydia by having less buffs? Is that going to be a problem? Then in Ghostborn's case, we want to open with Ancestral Spirits in all 3 instances. Don't really want to use Petrify. Don't really care about that. Last thing to check. Deal with that in a second. It would be nice if people actually had some Blood Shield accessories on them, just to make sure we have an extra buff. Ghostborn has one, but no one else does. So maybe a tweak we could do at some stage would be to add that accessory. Anyway, let's see if this works. The real question is, are we going to kill them? Not quite. So we do need an extra buff. It will be fine because I've set the AI override such that they won't still use all their reset abilities in a stupid way. But we don't quite have the damage on wave 1. At least now we know that Seer can't use Karma Burn. We don't have Lydia to revive our team. We also don't have Lydia and Warmaster because that would cause issues. Pretty sure no one in this setup has Warmaster, so we should be pretty safe. Hopefully this boss will kill everyone other than Dark Kael pretty quickly. That's another thing we can change. We could turn off Kaimar's A2, just have him A1ing. As his A1 puts out poisons on a crit and his A2 does nothing in this fight against the boss. I mean, it looked pretty safe, to be honest. Let's just make that change. We're not going to do another run because we've done our 3. But let's at least go here, turn that off. Now if we look at the champions we've used, do we have a Blood Shield accessory that we could put on Kael? I mean, this one looks fine from a kind of defensive perspective. It's pretty much triple attack percent. It seems a bit random for him. But it does the job, right? So yeah, let's put that on him. That will give us 1 extra buff. We have the one on Ghostborn already. I don't really want to mess around with Kaimar. I do have a Blood Shield accessory, but I generally quite like having him in refresh, as I use him elsewhere. Ghostborn's in a shield set. Renegade we could probably put in maybe immunity or something just to get an extra buff if we need to. But let's see tomorrow when we do some more Ice Golem. We'll see tomorrow. We'll go back to it then. At least the quest is done and you've seen a little bit more as to how I would look at devising or tweaking or fixing a team based on the AI override. Just running the iterations and just starting with a base case scenario and tweaking from there. Right, we've put it off long enough, but I think we have to look at the artifact enhancement event. So, like, the first thing that I would do is there are champions that I have rolled gear up to 15 in anticipation of doing this event. So I generally try and save the 15 to 16 rolls, either for CVC or for an artifact event. Ideally, both. If the artifact event and CVC overlap, that's even better. So I saw we had one on Dark Kale, so let's go to him first, and we have this refresh resistance banner. That's done. That's a few points in the bag. I know I have some pieces on Trunda to do as well, wherever Trunda is sitting. We can do that. Flat defense. That's disappointing. I don't know what I was hoping for, to be honest. Flat HP or flat defense are the only two options. And one more level here. Flat defense again. But again, what could we have had? Probably defense percent, I guess, would have been ideal. So that's currently Trunda's build. Decent level of attack. A bit low on the crit damage compared to some of the godly players out there with their crazy gear, but it's the best I can do at the moment. Only 5-star crit damage gloves. But with the tier of Savage that I gave her, it actually worked out as being a better build to have the Cruel set, and I don't have any decent 6-star Cruel crit damage gloves, unfortunately. So those were the two that I knew about. Actually, I think Stag Knight had boots. I have recently rebuilt my Stag Knight. And he's got a banner here that needs to be done. Do those quickly. I recently rebuilt him to have a little bit more attack. Try and speed up that faction war. So anyway, let's see how we're getting on. And we're at around 5,000 points. We've managed to pick up the goat. Obviously the first thing I'll do with that goat is ascend and lock. So let's get into some artifacts themselves. Now, I will do a separate video dedicated to gear cleansing at some stage. All we'll do today is I'll share some thoughts as I go and kind of the approach that I typically take to the artifact enhancement event. As I just mentioned before, I do roll some pieces up when I'm building champions in between events, and I roll them to 15 if I need the most of the stats, but I don't need to cap them out and I want to save the points. So the first thing I tend to do is roll those ones up to 16, as I know I want to get those rolls done and those points will be secured. Thereafter, I tend to look down through all of my gear from top to bottom and look for anything that hasn't been rolled up. Sometimes things have just slipped through by mistake, but sometimes things like this, there you go, is a piece that is there to be rolled. Now, my typical approach would be if it's a piece of gear that I need a triple roll in a single substat. I'll roll it to 4. If it hits it, then 8. If it hits it again, then 12. A piece like this, unless it triples on crit damage, is going to be useful for a champion on my account. It will go on some faction war champion most likely. So I'll roll it to 8 firstly. Double crit rate. It'd be nice to get a speed roll as well, but we'll just roll to 12. Triple crit. So that's now a solid piece, 22% crit. It will go up to 50% defense if it gets maxed. But I won't bother maxing it. What I'll do now is I'll leave it at 12 on the account, and it will only get maxed if it ends up being used in a build. That way I'm saving silver. I don't want to max every piece that I'm not using. I don't want to have in my inventory like loads of level 16 pieces that I'm not using, because that's just a waste of silver. You will see quite a lot of 16 pieces that I'm not using, but that might be pieces that I previously used and then had upgrades for, and they've been rotated out. The exception to that is if I do find a piece that's truly exceptional, I will instantly roll it. I will roll it all the way and roll it to 16, even if I don't intend on immediately equipping it, if it's a piece I know that I will equip in the future. I mean, a piece like this would only be, it's not a great set, it's an okay set. It would only have use if it double crit rate and it had a high roll. And already at level 4, it hasn't. So I sell it. But it very much depends on what stage of gear you have, what quality of gear you have, as to how dismissive you'll be on gear. Accuracy, previously a fantastic set. Perception just beats it, unfortunately, hands down. But I still like a 6-star piece with speed and ac as the sub. It's always going to be a good piece. If we do get the 3 rolls between speed and accuracy in some combination, there'll be a place for it. Having a defense percent roll, it's definitely lost some of its appeal. There are still some champions that I could use it on, but the third roll would have to be speed or accuracy. If we'd had double defense percent at level 8, I would have sold it at the stage of gear I have now. Split, that's fine. I don't know if I'll end up using it, but I'll keep it on the account. It's good enough to be kept. This one, really, at the stage of the account I have now, this needs to at least double roll speed to be usable. So we'll just roll it to 4. We'll see where it lands. HP. We can go to 8, but if we haven't hit speed, it's going to get sold. But accuracy chest, inaccuracy set with speed sub, that is what we want, but I have other pieces already. For me at this stage, I wanted at least a double roll in speed on that piece, given that the other 2 substats were both flat stats. If one of them had been HP percent, defense percent, or resistance, then I might have thought differently. Bit of a niche set here. Fury, don't actually have a single champion built with it. Really need speed and crit rate for this to be of interest. But if I ever build a kind of unkillable clan boss champion in Fury, double crit rate in attack percent boots with speed and flat attack as the other subs, that's pretty good. If the 4th sub was crit damage, then it's like the perfect piece. But you can see I don't really have much by way of Fury. Day set's pretty terrible as well. Cursed, another terrible set. Don't know how that piece has made its way through. It would seem that there was some dragon that didn't get filtered properly. Frenzy Shield. Frenzy set's quite niche. This needs to have all 3 rolls in speed and accuracy, so we need to avoid crit damage. So basically I'll roll it to 4, I'll roll it to 8. If we hit crit damage at any point, well, if we'd hit crit damage by 8, I'd have sold it. Then obviously once we've got the double speed, I was going to roll it to 12. Now we've got the treble speed. This is now a really good frenzy piece. We've got speed and accuracy and frenzy set with triple speed. So it's a solid piece. Defense percent with resistance and speed as the subs. Same situation, we need all the rolls to be in here. It's a 5-star piece. We've hit flat defense. For me, that's going to be sold. Onto regen. I mean, these are all good subs. It's not really a damage dealing set, but either as an offset, as a broken set piece within a champion that I'm looking to build high crit rate, high crit damage, speed, so any kind of nuker with a debuff ability, of which there are so many in the game now. Or potentially I might end up with a niche build where I've got a high damage dealer in regen. So I'm pretty sure that I want to roll this at least to 12 to see what the 3 rolls look like. So I'll just go straight to 12. We'll see what the distribution is. It's pretty good. 1 in crit, 1 in crit damage, and 1 in speed. I'm not going to roll it to 16. It's not a piece I need to use now. But at least I now know the nature of this. You know, if we'd got most of the rolls in speed and accuracy, it would have been predominantly for a very different champion or a very different potential build than if we'd got most of the rolls in crit rate and crit damage. So at least by rolling it to 8 or 12, we begin to understand the nature of the piece and who, if anyone, which champion, if anyone, we might likely use it in. The only way I see this being used realistically is if we get like a treble roll and then potentially Chaos Aura it. We've already split. Yeah, no, probably not. High speed, high resistance Savage Nuka? Probably not. Stun set I tend to keep quite a lot of. Use it in a lot of secret rooms. Roll it to 8. We doubled on the crit. Now we can take it to 12. Crit and speed. Pretty nice. Sadly, only 5-star. Toxic's actually a gear set I've started trying to collect again a bit of because it's quite nice on certain champions for secret rooms, such as Painkeeper in the rare HP room. It's also nice in a Shamil Hydra setup. I also thought about having it on Kantra to try and make sure she keeps the provoke up. I think it would be it would be too much. I just wanted to roll this to see if we got double speed, then it could be useful on someone. And we did. I might revisit these. I could either roll them to 12 and see where that 3rd roll goes, or if I get something better, I'll just sell them outright. There's another piece that seems to have made its way through. There's also quite an easy way of kind of gear cleansing as you go, because certain times pieces will find their way through. And this way, at least I can easily spot a piece that I haven't rolled up. And either it's because it's a piece I wanted to roll up in the future, or it's a piece that somehow slipped through. Here we go, defense. I mean, we really want speed rolls. The other 2 subs are pretty bad. Double crit damage. I mean, it's probably not even worth investing any more in at that stage. Waste of silver. I like this subset combination. Speed, resistance, and HP percent. I also like speed, resistance, and accuracy. Generally, when I'm trying to build that style of champion, those are the stats that I'm looking for. Treble speed, really useful. That will definitely find some use. The problem here is it's 5 stars, so the roll value is a bit lower anyway. It's kind of got crit rate and crit damage, and if you wanted to use it on, say, an HP percent nuker, you wouldn't want to use it on a defense-based nuker because A, Immortal's not the right gear set for them. B, it's not a 6-star shield, so you have lower total flat defense being added. So you could only use it on an HP percent nuker. And then, to be honest, there is no HP percent nuker that benefits both from HP percent and defense percent as much as they would if this was speed. This I quite like. I like for a lot of like faction war or kind of those kind of champions that I don't use in a lot of content. So a lot of those level 50s that I build to either showcase things or they're just part of faction war teams or secret room teams. HP percent gloves with speed as a substat, particularly in a useful set. That's kind of what I look for. We got double roll and speed, triple roll speed. Now this is a really good piece. Been really lucky today. Honestly, like, content creator luck is definitely a thing. As soon as you click the record button, other than those shard pulls, let's not forget the shard pulls. Or maybe we should forget the shard pulls because they were atrocious. Speed with defense percent in Immortal as a 5-star. I was kind of hoping it would hit accuracy, because then at least it would be usable. This, for me, is not a usable pair of boots. Forget the set, this is just a really good nuker. The perfect substats for a nuker. So let's at least take it to 8, we'll see how it rolls. Double crit rate. Now, really nice piece with attack percent. Like, this is a really, really nice piece for an offset build. Or if I decide to, for some reason, build a high damage dealing nuking guardian. I don't know. Like, that one's odd. Right, before we go any further, let's see how we're getting on. Oops. Got a bit carried away. 7,200. So we've finished. We wanted to get to 7,000. We've gone slightly over. I got a little bit carried away making the video, showing you all the gear. Even I make the occasional error in terms of efficiency. Sometimes. Usually it's always on artifact events, to be honest. I get carried away on them. We'll have to farm back some silver before the next artifact event. I think that's going to be the goal. The last thing that I wanted to mention is that I did manage to get that 4th place in Classic Arena, which is what I was hoping for. So that's another 75 gems, which will be nice. Just keep those gems topped up. I'll probably spend like another 1,000 gems in when CBC rolls over. So, you know, as many of these little gems as I can pick up will mean that I kind of sustain that gem count. A pretty easy day overall. We've progressed in the champion training. We haven't really done much in Ice Golem yet. We've finished the artifact event. We've got Dungeon Divers coming tomorrow, so like tomorrow we'll try and not use too much of our energy. We'll just use whatever's naturally refreshing, just make sure that we're not capped out on energy. But we'll save all of our daily energy refills, all of the stuff through, you know, the playtime rewards and through daily and advanced quests. We've also got our weekly reset tomorrow. So all of that energy we'll save, and then we'll use it once Dungeon Divers drops, putting that into Ice Golem. They've annoyingly put it at 2250, which means we basically have to do 2750, because once you get to 2250, you might as well just do the other 500 points and get the Epic Tome. So we know we're going to be doing 2750 in Ice Golem in 2 days. It should be fine. We've still got all of the energy rewards from the Artifact Enhancement event as well, so that will claim those tomorrow once Dungeon Divers starts, and just put it all into Ice Golem, and it will be a good test for our new Ice Golem stage 24 team that we're going to be trying tomorrow. See if it is consistent and whether Darkhail needs that final mastery. Because at the moment, if I can show you on recently used, because at the moment he does not have his T6. Not yet. And he also hasn't got all of these assigned yet. But in time he will. Right then. I think that is everything for today. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe. Your feedback is always welcome. And I'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.